Hello, this is Lorena, and I'm back with another Dylan's video. In this video, I don't even know, but I still feel like being financially responsible should not be a privilege. When I can no longer be an adult dependent, I should be able to support myself without having to worry that I'm going to die. Okay, so now Declan is here to milk what I can understand when Jack Atlas tries to milk Declan's deck, but Declan, are you really the kind of person to do this? Well, the player is, clearly. I know why a bunch of DD players are coming out, because his deck is getting nerfed. If this deck is getting nerfed, and it deserves to be nerfed. Oh, it deserves to be nerfed, but actually, Declan isn't playing DD. He's playing something else. Okay, so this is Declan's response. Just play something else. You know, that sounds like something Declan would actually do in response to something like what Konami just did. He'd be like, I have considered the benefits of continuing to use my current deck, and I have decided that it would be to the best of my... Basically, he will just decide that it makes more sense for him to use something else. Basically, because he thinks that his current deck just no longer meets his standards because of the ban list. Although I'm not really sure that I'm convinced that he would be a victim of it, because doesn't he also run a company? I mean, I did leave him out of the discussion when I was talking about runners of companies I respect, but to be fair, I respect Kaiba more than Declan, clearly. I do respect Declan to some extent, but I mean, to be completely honest, I am definitely still petty. I am petty, guys. I still remember that event. Anyway, I hope that my endgame is better now because I am getting more wins. In fact, YouTube's thumbnail recommendations, just the default ones, yeah, they're pretty obviously. They say that I'm getting more wins. Just saying. So my endgame is definitely fine. The fact that I can make references like this is just the ultimate in petty. But, I mean, I stopped feeling bad for being petty when someone, well, when I learned that there are people far more petty than me. Oh, wait. Do you think I'm throwing shade at someone physically here on Earth? In my house? No, guys, listen. I know that it sounded that way and you're completely right to make that assumption, but it's actually not her that made me not feel bad about being petty anymore. It was someone else. You know, someone that I probably shouldn't say by name. I want to say his name, but I probably shouldn't. Or he might become the reason I lose this duel. Okay, he can never become the reason for that, and not after what I just did. Honestly, he would never be the reason I lose. Well, until Duel Links adds him, that is. When Duel Links adds him, then I can blame him. I wonder if the dub changed his name. I would honestly judge them if they did. I would judge them for it. Okay. Well, I am dead, so what do I want to be destroyed by? Take my pick. The clock is ticking down. If I didn't summon anything, I would have the cost for karma cut, but I don't feel bad for losing at all. In fact, it's almost 1, which is why I was in rank to begin with. I actually managed to last that long. I think I only ranked up once or never. I mean, it's probably closer to never. But I'm going to have one more duel, you know, just because. Anyway, there are definitely people more petty than me. And some of them I don't even know. I've learned about many of them in the form of the legendary entitled Karen meme. And I feel bad for Karens that aren't actually part of the meme. You know, the Karens that don't actually contribute to the whole thing. But if your name is Karen and you complain about that meme, then unfortunately people are going to agree that you're actually part of the reason it exists. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But I mean, the meme is mainly based on I think a bunch of white women just being entitled. Though occasionally it can be any entitled person of any gender, of any. I think it's just a general thing. But I've come to notice that it's usually a white woman that is the Karen. Like, I'm surprised there aren't more variety. It's usually just a bunch of actual white women being Karens. And I mean, it's unfortunate if your name is Karen and you're not one of those. But then if you complain about it, people are just going to think you are. Which is bad because, I mean, as someone. I mean, it's just a general name. It's a common name. And because of the commonness of the name, yeah. People are going to actually use it. It's just a harmless common name thing, and someone picked Karen. I can't remember the male version, like when the man is being the Karen instead. I would honestly just call the man Karen instead of having to bother with gendered names. Especially since apparently Karen used to be a male name anyway. Okay, well, the only thing that hurts is I cannot summon. But we know that this is a problem for me whenever I don't go first. I mean, whenever I go first. Sometimes it's not an issue, but if I only have Cyber Dragon in my hand, it is. Okay, well. I do not like what he just did, but I knew he would do it, so there's nothing to be ashamed of, really. Why is this? Okay, hold on. It is dark. It is dark outside. It's not stormy as far as I know, but it is still dark. Oh God. I live with a Karen. I mean, I don't think the person is full-fledged Karen yet, but that's because that isn't really, there is no full-fledged Karen until you can actually, until you have all the privileges of being an adult. And then you can go around being a Karen everywhere. Although I'm not sure this Karen will have a happy ending. I'm sorry, but you kind of need to be held accountable if you don't want to. If you want to have a good life, then don't be an ass toward people. Seriously. But I don't want to elaborate further. That would be dangerous in the current environment. But if things keep going the way they are, I have to stop being held back by fear. Which is a very terrifying thing to say, because I think my mom would rather I stay out of it. Mom, if you want me to stay out of it, then do something about the problem before I have to become part of it. Please. Because, I mean, I've seen a lot of astrology skeptics, and I will not defend astrology if someone's just a skeptic. Because if you've already made up your mind, I'm not going to bother justifying myself to you. But my chart does actually does indicate issues of control and power. I mean, yeah, it's just there. And outside of that, there's also the problem of me having Mars in 4th house, which I know that not everyone is into astrology, so I'm going to tell you what Mars in 4th house tends to be associated with. It's associated pretty commonly with themes like domestic abuse, child neglect sometimes, I guess. I'm not super knowledgeable about this placement because I didn't grow up feeling like it resonated, but now it resonates, and that is why I know that placement is a thing. That is where Mars is. But the dark part about having Mars in 4th house is the 4th house being associated with a home. It's associated with childhood. It's associated with family, ancestry, and stuff like that. So when you have Mars in a house like this, that means conflict potentially with family members, with people that are relatives maybe. It means a potential history of childhood abuse, maybe domestic abuse in the case of your parents growing up. So it's not a good placement to have Mars, but in some cases it can indicate a person that is very protective of the family, and sometimes it can be indicative of a family that they can mess with each other, but if you start messing with them, then your ass is getting beat. You do not mess with someone's family. It's basically like Quattro can tease 3, but if I tease Trey, then he would kick my ass. That's basically what I mean by that. Like, it's just basically, you can tease, like, family members with Mars in 4th house can tease each other, but if you tease their family, they are going to tear you apart. Though I think that goes for pretty much the entire family when it comes to the Arclight brothers, and even Tron to some extent. By the way, I'm probably always going to call him Tron, but I have started to question if that will... I have started to be more open to calling him by his dumb name, but I don't know yet if that's actually going to be what I continue doing. I haven't decided yet where I stand on his name. He isn't even in the game yet, but we've seen his game thing. We've seen his in-game sprite at least. And Quentin has dialogue. So there's going to be some movement in that direction soon, hopefully. And now I admit that I'm looking forward to Rio being in the game. And hopefully I was just being petty during Jim's event, but I don't really think that all of it was just me being paranoid about Rio. I think I just wanted to see Jim talk to everyone. But why? Why would I want that? Okay, sure. I really think that part of it was legitimately on behalf of I wanted to see what Jim would say to everyone. Okay, I cannot attack. Anyway, with that out of the way, it's just worth mentioning that, yeah, I don't like when you mess with my family. I don't like when you do that. Because, I mean, I just don't. That's part of why, even though I consider my sister a family member, I still don't really appreciate how she behaves. But if someone were to try to mess with her outside of the family, I would destroy you for that. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I am American. Oh, wait, that doesn't tell you anything, does it? Well, this country is founded on things that I despise that it was founded on. But the country's history is what it is. And my sister comes from a poor country in Africa, and I don't want anyone giving her shit for being black. I don't care that she's black. It's fine. That's not the problem. But if someone were to make it a problem, I would destroy you for it. Because that's not the issue with her. It's her behavior. So if you tried to mess with her, I would definitely destroy you. Also, I would probably destroy you even if you had other problems with her, because it would probably help you a lot. I mean, trust me, it would be beneficial for me to destroy you as opposed to her. Because, I think I would be a little nicer about it. Just saying. So, yeah, I would definitely, not appreciate people just targeting anyone in my family. I am very protective of my family members. All of them. I know some of my family members have issues, but I don't care. I don't care. If you're family, you're family. But I just wanted to acknowledge for a bit that, yes, my country has issues, and also I don't want those issues to be what brings... Listen, if you have a problem with my family, just... If it's about the person in the house that is black, do not go to her about that, because she will kill you. And I don't mean really, I just mean she's the kind of person that would definitely hurt you. I don't believe she would do it seriously because I'm of the personal belief that she does have a limit, and that limit does sort of. I don't think she would seriously want to hurt anyone, but she does have anger management issues. And I'm surprised I'm the only person that hasn't snapped on her. If things continue in this direction, though, I will probably have to become part of the situation. And I will obviously approach this from a mature perspective as much as possible. If I had to get involved, I wouldn't want to fuel the fire more than I already would be by being there and getting involved. I would want to at least be reasonable about it. Like, yeah, I'm not the best older sister by any means, but if your behavior is an issue, I don't want to fan the flames. Okay, there's a problem, got it, but I'm not going to be just like that. That would be worse. And now, the reason I don't really want to be, I feel like it's just so bad that I have to consider what I would do in certain situations. Because I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to get involved. I just want to be left alone to express myself in peace. I don't want to be a problem. I want the people I live with to feel safe. I want them to just get along in general. And I have Mars in 4th house, but in case you don't know, my 4th house is ruled by Pisces, which is a sign that's very peaceful by nature. I'm sure that there are factors in the astrology chart that could make a Pisces not like that. But, I mean, in general, people that are Pisces are pretty peaceful individuals. And now, if you have a bad experience with people that have that sign, I am not the person to go to about it because I don't really know much about them. Also, I'm not really, I don't have a problem with really any zodiac sign. Though, if you ask me, the zodiac sign that I am most likely to have a conflict with is Sagittarius suns. And not because that's a bad sign. I just have the least in common with them. Which, I mean, again, it's not a bad sign. It doesn't mean if someone's a Sagittarius sun, I wouldn't get along with them. It just means that chances are a bit higher based on not having as much in common with you. Though Sagittarius suns could have Scorpio placements, which I probably would be a bit wary of, considering the reputation of Sagittarius and Scorpio. That the combination of that energy, I don't think that would be good. In the past, I've noticed that water and fire element, if your astrology chart is dominated by fire and water energy, I've seen that it can play out in very destructive ways. I'm just gonna put it at that, but it's not always a bad thing. It just means that it can be a very explosive energy, and it takes someone very mature to handle that without being an issue. Yeah. I do know someone that was an issue, but I also know that my brother has some dominance of fire and water, and he's not that bad, actually. He's getting better, but I do know one woman that was she's the main example. The reason that I say that fire and water can be explosive as a combination. So, yeah. It's not bad, but I would definitely be wary based on previous experiences. This doesn't mean that I would treat you like trash. It just means I don't know you, which is normal because I'm going to be wary of pretty much anyone I don't know, to be honest. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up for this video. In the next video, I will probably continue with the story, but we'll see what happens when I get there.